Thank you for bringing us today for this Building Your Career series. We're grateful for the chance to learn, grow, and connect with one another. Please guide us as we explore how to become engineers in training and professional engineers here in British Columbia. Bless the speakers, organizers, and everyone here with clarity, inspiration, and the drive to excel in our careers. May this event empower us with the tools, insights, and strategies we need to build a brighter future. Help us use our skills and knowledge to make a positive difference in our communities and the world. We place this event in your hands, trusting you to lead us every step of the way. May your peace and presence be with us throughout our time together. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And we would like to take a moment to honor the land on which we gather today. We acknowledge and respect the Liquenchen peoples on whose traditional territory the university stands, and the Songhees, Esquimalt, and Wisanech peoples whose historical relationships with the land continue to this day. Thank you and good evening.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. So, welcome everyone. The host- before we start, I just want to provide a brief details about our session tonight. This is a log in and learn program of University of Victoria Philippine Community under our Building Your Career series, in which we provide insights and information on how you can pursue your profession here in Canada. So this session is a collaboration between the Society of Filipino Engineers in British Columbia and the University of Victoria Philippine Community. We are thrilled to have Filipino professional engineers registered with engineers and geoscientists in BC or EGBC guide you through the process. This will share their experience and offer tips for success and answer any questions you may have. So, we are honored to have the whole organization of SFEBC. And for our speaker tonight, we are honored to have him. He graduated in UBC Sauder School of Business and Project Management. He is also a mechanical engineer in PRC Philippines, a professional engineer in EGBC, a led APBD plus C in Green Business Certification Incorporated, and the current SFEBC Board of Director for Education and Professional Engineers, Accreditation, and other certification. Everyone, please welcome Engineer Michael De Guzman.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon pa lang. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yes po.
Okay.
You can share na po yung slide.
Okay, hold on. Screen two. Okay. Nakikita niyo na po yung screen ko?
Yes po.
Okay. So, I will start na. So, this is I don't know, webinar for how to become an EIT and PNG in BC. So, hindi ko na-introduce ulit yung sarili ko. So, first is we will discuss about engineering training. Then after engineering training, we will discuss how to become professional engineer, and then question and answer. And then I will discuss as well how to write your CBA. So ano ba yung CBA? Malalaman nyo siya during this webinar. All right. So engineering training. So engineering training category is for individual who are in process of acquiring 4 years of experience needed to apply for their PNG. So ano ba yung benefits natin if we become an EIT dito sa BC or sa Canada? Uh, by the way, if you have plan applying professional designation in any provinces of Canada, I think hindi naman siya ganun ka yung difference niya is hindi ganun kalaki. So, yung matututunan nyo dito is pwede nyo rin gamitin sa ibang province, most likely. So, number one benefit is, well, you can use EIT after your name and refer yourself as an engineer in trading. So, for everyone that didn't know, hindi pwede pong gamitin yung word na engineer dito sa Canada across all provinces if hindi po kayo registered sa regulating body as an EIT or a PNG. Ayun. So, you can gain access to programs as well, exclusive for EITs na pinapadala ni EGBC, and yung mga discount sa fees, and makaka-receive kayo ng Innovation Magazine. Okay, so how to apply for the EIT? So, sorry, didiscuss natin yung required documents, fees, application review. So for the required documents, definitely kailangan nyo ng online application. So punta lang kayo sa website ni EGBC. And then official transcript, academic transcript, and certified copies of 2 pieces of government issued ID. So discuss natin yung first is yung official academic transcript. So if you check kay EGBC, ang sinasabi ng website is send physical copy sealed directly to EGBC from your institution, from your university or colleges. Dapat sealed siya. So yun yung process if pupunta kayo sa website. However, merong option 2 and 3 na hindi nakasulat sa website, which is number 2. Itong number 2 option is, ito yung pinaka mabilis and pinakamura sa tingin ko. So number 2 is, you send electronic copy directly to EGBC from your institution. So dapat official email po siya ng university nyo. So kung walang official email yung university nyo, hindi nyo pwedeng gamitin yung option 2. Hindi pwede pong, for example, may employee na nag-work sa university nyo, hindi nyo pwedeng gamitin yung email niya. So yun, take note of that. Option 3 is through WES. Pero dun sa option 3, you have 2 steps. First is, kailangan nakapag-order na kayo nung initial WES evaluation. And then after that, you need to order or course by course. Then pipiliin nyo si EGBC as recipient. Pero ito yung pinakamahal dito sa 3 option. Nung nag-process ako, option 3 yung ginawa ko kasi wala pang nag-guide sa akin that time. Wala pang, baga nag-start pa lang kami sa SFEBC noon. Hindi pa kinakapapa namin that time. Unlike now, alam na namin yung pasikot-sikot ng application. So, may disclaimer lang, please email register@egbc.ca or info@egbc.ca and secure confirmag or approval for option 2 and 3. Ano ibig sabihin? Kasi po, sabi ko nga, nakasulat sa website nila, pag check yung process nila, yung option 1 lang, send physical copy sealed from your institution to EGBC. So, ang mga reasoning na ginagawa natin or kapag may available yung option 2, ang sinasabi na lang is, pag nag-email kay EGBC is, nag-migrate kayo dito and you don't have someone na pwedeng mag-facilitate nung pag-send nung physical copy from your institution to EGBC. So wala kayong family member or whatnot. So ina-allow ni EGBC yun. But again, kailangan yung ma-secure yung confirmation kay EGBC for option 2 and 3 before you proceed. Kasi ayaw nating masayang yung effort natin. Alright. So academic requirements, definitely dapat graduate tayo university level, bachelor's degree ng engineering, 4 years Canadian equivalency. Siguro yung iba sa inyo nag-process ng WES, ang nakuha is 3 years Canadian equivalency. Okay lang yon. So kapag ganun yung nakuha nyo, wag nyo nang i-submit yung WES nyo. Kasi risky yun. Punta na lang kayo sa option 1. So kailangan nating ma-meet yung academic requirements through the following. Number 1, academic exam. So dahil, and number 2 is Washington Accord. Recently, bago lang to, no? I think wala pang 1 year. Nag-release na si PTC and si EGBC na accredited na nila yung PTC. Ang problem is, as of now, si Mapua pa lang, and I think apat na discipline ni Mapua yung accredited ni Washington Accord. Wala pa akong nakikita na, so kung may graduate sa inyo ng 2023, apply kayo, try nyo na mag-apply ng EIT, and I think based on new accreditation, hindi na kayo mag-exam. And please let me know if may makagawa nun, kasi wala pa akong nakita na gano'n. So if since hindi tayo accredited ni Washington Accord before, or kung yung university natin hindi accredited ni Washington Accord, itong NCES or FE, yun yung ibibigay na option sa inyo ni EGBC, or mag-exam kayo ng Group A or Group B na i-assign sa inyo ni EGBC. Hindi ako nakapaglagay kung ano yung mga subjects na exam nyo, kasi magkakaiba naman tayo ng engineering or ng discipline for mechanical, electrical, civil, and so on. Alright. Sorry. So good character requirement, kasama to sa pag binasa nyo yung website sa EGBC, may nakalagay na good character requirement. Wala naman kayong another form to fill up for this one. Kasama na to dun sa online application nyo. There are some questions lang na are you parang na-convict ba kayo or may pending case ba kayo? Definitely hindi naman tayo mag-apply ng professional designation if may mga ganun tayong scenario. So you don't have to worry about this one. For fees, application fees, that's 475 Canadian dollar. If bagong graduate kayo, less than 12 months, i-waive ni EGBC yung fee. But if matapos nyo yung process for EIT ng more than 12 months ng graduation date nyo, pagbabayaran na rin nila kayo ng 475. So, up to 4 months ang application review. Take note of that. Kung may tinatarget kayo na work and kailangan nyo ng time, kailangan nila ng EIT, so yun. Up to 4 months yung process. Alright, so that's how to become an EIT. So siguro sa question and answer na lang mamaya para kung may question yung iba. So for professional engineer, you must meet the following eligibility criteria. So academic requirements, experience, legal and ethical, English language, and good moral. So isa-isahin natin yan. How to apply, we will discuss yung required documents, fees, and application review as well. So sa required documents, seminar and exam. So same din, may online application kayo pero you will choose a professional engineer. Kailangan nyo ng official transcript of record din, experience assessment, or ito yung tinatawag na competency-based assessment or competency-based approach. Certified copies of ID. Dun sa ID pala, pwedeng Philippine passport. Baka kasi isipin nyo, BCID lang yung meron ako, wala naman akong driver's license. So pwede yung Philippine passport. Okay, online seminar ng EGBC and NPPE. I-discuss natin ito lahat. Okay, so official academic transcript. So same thing pa din, no? Pag pumunta kayo sa website ng EGBC, ang nakasulat lang doon is yung option 1, send physical copy of sealed nung TOR nyo from your institution to EGBC. Again, may option 2 and 3 pero you need to coordinate kay EGBC before you proceed on doing option 2 and 3. Yung iba kasi sa atin, no, international students, so may mga may order na kayo ng WES evaluation. Dito sa option 3, meron na kayo nitong first item. So, para hindi na rin hassle, ginagawa ng iba talaga is nag-order na lang ng course by course. Tapos recipient si EGBC. Especially dun sa mga nasa Manila yung university and may probinsya sila, yung parents nila or mga relatives nila nasa province. So talagang pinipili nila is yung option 3. Parang roughly 1 month din before ma-receive ni EGBC yung course by course from West. Alright, so academic requirements, how to apply for registration as PEng. So same din, definitely kailangan graduate tayo ng Bachelor of Science in Engineering. Kailangan nating ma-meet yung academic requirements, pwedeng through FE, Fundamentals of Engineering, or same din kung i-assign tayo ng Group A or Group B ni EGBC. Tapos yung number 2 is kung yun nga, if accredited yung university nyo ni Washington Accord. So pwede nyo i-check yung Engineers Canada. Wala pala akong link dito. Pero I can send yung link mamaya. Or i-share ko na lang siguro kay Arvin. Kung saan nyo makikita kung yung mga accredited school or institution. And then number 3, no, dun sa academic requirements, undergraduate engineering degree and at least 5 years of work experience. Meaning po, kung meron kayong 5 years na engineering experience, pwede yung i-combine sa academic requirements nyo. So, ang ibig ko sabihin, since yung mga universities natin, yung mga institution natin sa Pilipinas, hindi naman siya accredited ni Washington Accord or accredited ni EGBC, if may 5 years experience kayo, pwede nyong ma-waive itong mga examination na to. Itong FE or yung Group A or Group B. So, i-discuss natin yan kung paano ma-waive yung exam. Ayun, thanks. Ayun, si President Alvin. Shinare niya na yung link. So, nasa chat box. So, experience requirements. To register as a PEng, you must have a minimum of 4 years kung dito kayo graduate sa Canada or kung graduate kayo ng UVic. I think may engineering sa UVic, no? And 5 years satisfactory engineering experience kung outside Canada. So, yung iba nagtatanong, sir, paano yun? 4.5 years yung experience ko, pero ongoing yung experience niya during application. So, pwede na yun. As long as mahihit mo yung 5 years bago matapos yung process mo. And if hindi mo naman mahit yung, kung masyadong mabilis yung process, i-assign ka naman ni EGBC ng another year. So, ayun. Discuss natin mamaya yung 7 key categories ng competency-based approach. Last part ng natin yan, ng discussion. So, ito yung sinasabi ko, makakatanggap kayo ng decision letter during your application, no? It will be combination of your academic and CBA. So, ano yung mga pwedeng mangyari? Number 1, professional engineer granted. So, magiging PEng na kayo kasi maayos nyo nasulat yung CBA nyo plus yung academic, yung bachelor's degree nyo. Yun. May mga nag-a-apply po na madami na rin ako nakitang ganito pero wala pa akong nakita na lumusot. Like may masters, pero hindi rin nila kinount eh. Meron pa kang nag-apply ng masters. Nag-apply siya, ang masters niya pa, I think Australia yun. About engineering din pero hindi pa din eh. So, it's up to you, pero personal opinion ko, yung bachelor's degree nyo is more than enough to apply for this one. Kasi pag dami po ng transcript na ibibigay nyo kay EGBC, dadami lang din yung dependencies na kailangan nilang makuha na records, no? So hahaba yung process nyo. If same lang din naman yung mangyayari. I don't see yung benefit nung master's degree na isend pa kay EGBC. But it's up to you. So that's number 1, no? Number 2 is pwede kayo ma-assign ng interview. Number 3, worst case scenario is pag hindi nyo nasulat na maayos yung CBA nyo, sasabihin sa inyo ni EGBC is mag-take kayo ng FE, Fundamentals of Engineering. Yung Fundamentals of Engineering po para siyang board exam. So kung ano yung subject na kinuha nyo ng first year college hanggang fifth year college, yun yung coverage. And then yung academic group A or group B, minsan nag-assign sila ng 4 or 5, I think 6 na yung maximum na subjects. Pero may mga narinig na rin ako from Toronto, ang inassign sa kanila is 20 subjects. So sabi ko sa kanila, there's no way na gawin nyo yung academic group kasi that's too much. If you will pay for each subject kada exam, mag-take na lang kayo ng FE. Or mag-apply na lang kayo dito sa AJBC, gag-guide namin kayo. But anyway, moving on. Okay, types of interview. Ito hindi nyo po ito makikita sa website. Kasi kaya lang natin nag-gather itong information na to kasi through experience nga nung gathered experience ng application ng mga members natin. So, ang number 1, so itong academic and CBA, pag na-assign kayo ng interview, ito yung tatlong pwedeng mangyari sa inyo. Number 1 is experience review. Ito po yung nangyari sa akin. So experience review, bibigyan na nila kayo ng EIT designation while waiting for while processing this experience review, no? Kasi minsan po since kulang yung volunteer ni EGBC, yung schedule mo is up to 5 months bago ka makakuha ng schedule. Pero dahil experience review na lang yung gagawin sa'yo, bibigyan ka na nila ng EIT designation. So you can use engineer designation na sa work mo, no? And then once na ma-pass mo yung experience review interview, they will grant you yung PEng. Number 2 is looking to exempt. Looking to exempt naman, almost same din siya ng experience review. Ang main difference niya is wala kayong makukuha na EIT or na EIT designation. So, it's a parang pass or fail interview. So, pag nag-fail kayo sa interview, i-assign nila kayo ng FE or Group A or Group B. And number 3, etong number 3, wala pa akong nakita na ganito. This is out of discipline. Ito yung mga, for example, mechanical ka, pero yung work experience mo na naging electrical, or electrical naging mechanical, civil naging electrical, and so on. So, ayun. So ethical requirement, may dalawang requirement, no, sa ethical. NPPE o yung National Professional Practice Exam. So kahit graduate ka sa Pilipinas or graduate ka dito, walang nakakatakas dito sa NPPE, lahat mag-exam nito. Hindi siya technical exam, law and ethics siya ng Canada. And then professional practice in EGBC or professional engineering and geoscience practice in BC online seminar. Ayun, 9 hours lang siya. Anyway, discuss ko further yan. NPPE muna tayo. Sa NPPE, ito yung dalawang books na recommended ng Engineers Canada, no? Itong Practical Law and itong Engineering and Geoscience, Practice and Ethics. So, 2.5 hours yung computer-based siya, 2.5 hours yung exam, 110 multiple choice question, 260 per exam. Pag nakatatlong fail kayo, kailangan nyo magpahinga ng 1 year before ulit kayo maka-exam. Unless otherwise na bago na yung rule. Pero as far as I know, yun pa din yung rule. Now, may summary na tayo nito sa SFEBC. So if you will join our group, no, may naka-upload ako doon na summary nitong dalawang book. This is 1,000 pages books, no. Pero yung summary is 70 pages PDF na mako-cover tong dalawang book na to. So mas madali, no? And may mga practice exam din pala tayo sa sa SFEBC na sinishare namin sa mga members. Okay, so yung online seminar, pwede nyo siyang i-take anytime. Kung depende sa inyo, no? Mandatory siya sa mga bagong applicants under Bylaw 11E, number 6. And then, yun nga, as I've said, 9 hours siya to complete yung seminar. Pwedeng putol-putol. Doesn't need na dire-diretso yung 9 hours kasi mahaba talaga siya. Pwedeng 1 hour ngayon, 2 hours bukas, then 1 hour next week, depende sa inyo. 275 yung seminar fee. Now, sabi ko nga, nung nagsisimula pa lang kami, wala namang nag-guide sa amin. So, ang ginawa ko nung nag-apply pa ako ng PH, tinake ko yung seminar kasi gusto kong magkaroon ng green or ng admissible or ng complete dun sa application dashboard ko. Pero the best time na yung perfect timing to take this seminar is para sa akin is 1 month before your NPPE. Kasi somehow review mo na rin to for your NPPE. So, ang nangyari sa akin, dahil gusto ko lang magka-green yung dashboard ko, tinake ko na to kahit hindi pa ako magte-take ng NPPE, which is wrong. No, not necessarily wrong, pero mas strategic siya kung iti-take mo siya 1 month before yung NPPE mo. English language competency. So, ang mga category dito is communication category, no? Under CBA is one is oral, then written, then reading and comprehension. So, makakatulong din yung mga comments and comments ng validators nyo, no? Tsaka nung assessor. Yung referees dito is yung assessor. And then, makakatulong din yung comments ng interviewers kung may interview kayo. So far, wala akong nakita na Filipino engineer na pinag-take nila ng IELTS or sorry, hindi ako familiar dun sa mga English exam. Pero yun, like IELTS. Kasi, well, second language natin yung English. So, I don't think magkakaroon tayo ng problem sa CBA natin dito sa oral, written, and reading and comprehension. No? Ayun, good character requirements. So same thing din siya. Kasama na siya dun sa online application. Wait lang ha. Okay, fees. So yung first time applicant, 475. Ito yung benefits ng EIT na sinasabi ko kanina. If EIT na kayo, tapos nag-apply kayo, 325. These are all Canadian dollars. Application review, approximately 6 months. Pinakamabilis na naging PH natin na sa group, no, is less than a year. So, average dati is 2 years. Pero ngayon, dahil nga na-streamline na natin yung process, 1 to 2 years, it's very achievable. Pero way back, I think yung iba inaabot ng 5 years, 7 years para makuha yung PH nila. Ayun, so kailangan ready yung mga documents natin, no? Nasulat natin ng maayos yung CBA natin para mas mabilis nating makuha yung PH. Pero lagi nga namin sinasabi, no, lahat tayo may kanya-kanyang timeline, lahat tayo kasi magkakaiba din yung assessor natin, magkakaiba tayo ng discipline. So, just enjoy the process. Huwag nating madaliin. Not necessarily huwag madaliin, pero huwag tayong magmadali. Gawin natin ng tama. If you want yung English version ng pinagsasabi ko dito, pwede yung sundan tong itong link na to. I don't know if nakikita niyo yung mouse ko ito. Sa website ni EGBC. So free webinar siya. Ayun, para sa akin, may one important requirement to get your PH. So para sa akin, the most important requirement is grit. So it is your ability to maintain focus over time. So people with a lot of grit don't lose interest, they don't get distracted, and they don't get discouraged. So it is the power of passion and perseverance. Ayun, perseverance is your persistence of in doing something despite of difficulty or delay. Kasi alam naman natin, no, as an immigrant, mahirap talagang magsimula ulit, pero hindi naman imposible. So, I think lahat tayo yung perseverance andyan na yan. Kasi uh, umalis nga tayo ng Pilipinas para pumunta dito sa Canada. So, kailangan nating combine yung perseverance natin dun sa passion natin for us to achieve our goal, no? And yun nga, kailangan, siguro after this seminar, you will be motivated on getting your PNG or EIT. But just keep in mind that motivation will bring you to the starting line, but discipline will lead you to the finish line. So, kailangan nating maging disiplinado dun sa pag-apply natin or pag-process natin, especially dun sa pagsulat ng CBA. Kasi sobrang game changer yung CBA. Siya yung magsasalba sa inyo kung magte-take kayo ng FE, magte-take kayo ng Group A or Group B, magiging PH na kayo or ma-interview kayo. So si CBA talaga yung magbibigay ng chance sa inyo dun sa diretso PH. All right, so that's it, Engineer Arvin. Pwede na tayo dun sa question and answer.
Yes, sir. Smooth.
Open mic.
Oh, thank you, sir. Now we'll move forward. I would like to call on Jim G and Renee to read the registered question.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So thank you, Engineer De Guzman, for that informative presentation. So we're moving to the registered questions. So I think the first one has already been answered. How can I become an engineer here in Canada? I think this was the first presentation that discussed with Mr. De Guzman. So
Maybe, sir, you
you want
can to add some about geodetic and engineer.
Not sure if yung geodetic engineer will fall into geoscience, no? Pero it doesn't matter. Ano, sir? Ano, Press?
I can chime in. So
Sige.
dalawa yung professional registration under EGBC. So ano yun, professional engineer and professional geoscientist. So I think under EGBC pa rin siya, pero ang i-apply mo lang siya as PJ or professional.
Yeah, PJO siya.
So, ayun.
Pero ano, kailangan din clear tayo dito, no? Kasi if you call yourself like geoscientist talaga, no? Talagang you study hydrology, like land movement, etc. But if it's like I don't know, surveying, like civil engineering, baka mag-fall pa rin siya sa professional engineer eh. But I'm not expert dito sa ginagawa nung geodetic engineer na nag-ask ng question. But if mag-join siya sa SFEBC and he can discuss further kung ano yung buong experience niya, na we can ano, ayun, may nakalagay dito land surveying. Kasi kung surveying pa, feeling ko mag-fall pa rin siya sa PNG. Pero as I've said, hindi lang kasi siya one experience eh. It's your whole experience, like yung buong career experience mo. So kung mag-fall siya sa engineering, PNG yung application mo. Okay. Ito ba yung next question?
Yes, next question. Would having or not having an engineering license in the Philippines affect the application for the EIT? whether or not one takes the confirmatory exam?
No, wala siyang effect sa ano. Hindi siya makaka-apekto dun sa application mo as an EIT or PN regardless kung may license ka sa Pilipinas or wala. And just to just to help din yung ibang technical profession sa Pilipinas, no. If you are not if you don't have bachelor's degree in engineering, for example, sa Batso kasi ano eh. Master na ba tawag din sa sa atin sa Batso, yung 4 years na technical?
I think technology yung BIT ba yun?
Basta yun, basta related sa building science or technologies, kahit sa Pilipinas siya, no, like yung 4 years degree, pero hindi siya Bachelor of Science in Engineering. Pwede ka pa rin mag-apply kay EGBC as PLeng, so Professional Licensee Engineer. Pero kailangan specific yung experience mo. For example, you're doing HVAC for the last 8 years kasi kailangan minimum 8 years eh. You can apply as a Professional Licensee Engineer dito sa BC. Ang difference kasi ng PLeng tsaka PN, yung PN kasi pwedeng mag-practice sa ibang discipline or sa ibang areas, industry na yun. As long as may proper training siya or education to practice on that area. Si PLeng, ano siya, specific lang siya. So kung subject matter expert ka ng hydraulics ka lang. Ayun. Pero yung to answer this question, walang effect kung kahit PME ka or PEE, PECE, hindi siya, or kahit pa may ASEAN engineer ka from a non-engineering background. Oh, this is a good one. Kasi sabi ko dun sa ano kanina, no, dun sa presentation ko, satisfactory engineering experience. So hindi porket graduate ka ng engineering and then nag-work ka, kasi sa CBA mo mahihit mo yung iba't ibang aspect ng pagiging engineer. So kung hindi mo mahihit yun, hindi din valid. So dito sa question niya, I assume na non-engineering background. So baka, hindi ko alam kung ano yung experience niya, pero assuming na talagang hindi siya technical, no? 4 years experience dito sa BC yung kailangan mo. I mean, kung nasa Pilipinas ka, pwede, tas may mababaon ka naman na experience sa Pilipinas. Medyo broad yung question niya. Hindi ko alam kung may experience ba siya sa Pilipinas or non-engineering background experience siya dito lang sa BC. So, if nandito ka, kung sino ba nagtanong nito, pwede mong explain further para mas matsagot kita ng specific dito sa question mo.
Okay po. Thank you po for that, Engineer. I-follow
Ikaw
up
ba yun,
namin
sir?
i-follow up namin yung nag-question para mas clear. Next question po. Do we need to take a course to pursue my EE profession? EE po, electrical engineer po.
Yeah. My electrical profession, if you are asking to become a PEng and you have, sabi ko nga, 5 years of engineering experience, no? Wala ka namang kailangan i-take na course. Kailangan mo lang i-process yung pagiging PEng mo. Andito naman yung SFEBC to guide you. Pero walang, like, kung ang iniisip mo is babalik ka ng school, no. Kasi yun yung mindset nung simula no, na parang pagka-graduate ka sa Pilipinas, kailangan magsimula ulit dito, mag-aral sa university para maging engineer dito. So, ano po yun, chismis lang, hindi po totoo yun. Pwede kayo maging engineer nang gamit yung bachelor's degree nyo sa Pilipinas. Pero kung may kailangan kayong ibang profession na related sa EE at kailangan ng license, for example, gusto nyo mag-energy management, so kailangan nyo maging certified energy manager dito, magte-take kayo ng CEM, parang ganon. Pero if this is specific of becoming a PN, wala pong specific course or required course to pursue your profession.
Oh, okay po. Next question po. There is no electronics engineer here in Canada. Which category should I apply instead? Electrical?
Yeah, so madami na pong nangyari pong ganito sa SFEBC. Sa electrical sila nag-fall.
Okay. Doon po related at doon po i-advise niyo po, engineer?
Doon talaga siya mapupunta.
Okay.
But may dagdag lang pala ako doon.
Oo.
If i-assign kayo ng FE, walang electronics engineer doon sa mga choices ng fundamentals of engineering. Bago kayo mag-take ng EE or ng any other or other discipline exam ng FE, i-confirm nyo muna kay EGBC in writing. I-email nyo sila na there's no electronics and communication engineering dun sa FE. Should I take electrical engineering instead? Pag sinabi na nilang go, proceed, then saka kayo mag-take ng FE. Yung isang applicant natin, no, kasi hindi din malinaw si EGBC before, nakalagay lang, mag-take ka ng FE. Ngayon, ang tinake niya is yung FE others. FE others is like general engineering. Wala siyang specific. So, napasa niyo yung FE others. Ayaw tanggapin ngayon ni EGBC kasi ang sinasabi niya, mechanical engineer ka eh. Dapat ang tinake mo is FE mechanical. Nilaban natin yun, no? Sinuportahan din siya ng SFEBC. And ayun, binigay sa kanya yung EIT, pero right after that, binago ni EGBC yung nakalagay nila dun sa mga dashboard na specific siya sa discipline mo. That's why if wala yung discipline mo, like electronics, no, ECE, hingi ka ng confirmation muna kay EGBC before ka mag-take ng electrical engineering FE, kung mag-FE ka. Pero wala pa kaming nakitang applicant ng ECE na nag-fall sa ibang category rather than PE. Tama ba, Press? Ayun. So, next question.
Sir, meron yatang follow-up question dito sa chat.
Sige, sir.
Telecoms engineer, electronics and communications engineer, practice will also fall under EE?
Yes, sir. Doon siya magpo-fall. Kung electronics kayo, sir, tapos telecom, yung isang natin, no, master si Sir Don, yun, madalas siyang maghanap ng mga ganitong experience. So, if you're looking for an opportunity, i-tap din namin kayo kay Sir Don. Ayun, principal yun sa consulting firm. Sorry, naka-record ba to? Naka-record. Yeah, anyway. Process on accreditation and work opportunities while processing. Sorry.
I think ang question po dito, sir, is probably what is the process for accreditation and what work opportunities are available while accreditation is being processed?
Okay. Yeah, okay, good question. So process on accreditation, walang accreditation eh. Magpa-process ka talaga ng magpa-process ka talaga ng PN or EIT. Para magkaroon ka ng license dito. So hindi siya basta accreditation. Ano talaga siya? License mo talaga dito 'yon. Tapos work opportunities while processing. Yeah, pwede. Madaming ongoing yung process. Isa na ako doon. Habang nagpa-process ako, makakakuha ka naman ng work opportunity. Pero alam natin mahirap pumasok sa job market. Pero may mga ibang way para makapasok ka sa job market, no, na related sa engineering. For example, project management. Pwede kang mag-take ng PMP. Pwede kang mag-take kung may background ka sa project management or lead. Yeah. Yung mga ganung accreditation, pwede mo siyang i-process pwede mo siyang i-take. Tapos pag nagkaroon ka ng lead or PMP or CEM or ano pa ba, mga ibang accreditation pa, makakapasok ka sa job market na may mga PNG, may mga technical person. So yun na yung magiging way mo, parang stepping stone mo. Kung naghahanap ka ng accreditation, other accreditation while processing yung PNG. My field.
Okay po. May isa na naman question po. How can I have work related to my field? Computer engineering naman po yung nagtanong. Do I need Canadian credentials related to this field to work here in BC?
Uh, Not necessarily, no? Kasi even not only computer engineering, even mechanical, electrical, civil, if you are competent dun sa job description, no? If you can perform kung ano yung hinahanap nila, kahit pa yung job experience mo is Pilipinas or kung ibang bansa, definitely i-hire ka nila. Pero ayun, it doesn't necessarily Canadian experience para ma-hire ka. So dun sa related field mo. Kasi parang halos lahat naman ata kami dun sa SFEBC na PH na, no? Wala naman kaming Canadian experience nung nag-work kami. Or not only yung mga PH, even yung mga nagpa-process pa pero nasa technical field or nasa engineering field na. Wala namang na dumating dito, wala namang Canadian experience. So it's how you sell yourself as well, no? And network. Important yung network.
Totoo po. Sa lahat po na nandito sa yung mga listeners, I mean sa audience po, lahat na nandito sa Canada, talagang importante yung network po.
Yeah, for sure. That's why not only network, no, kailangan mo rin talagang patunayan. Kaya nga sabi ko, kailangan competent ka din. That's why if you can take other accreditation or certification or license just to be ahead dun sa ibang applicant, do it. Is IE. Yes. Yes. May mga PH na IE. Meron po. Magtayo na lang kaya ako ng consulting firm, no, ng pag-apply ng PH.
Yeah. Nandito pa engineer. Is there an agency or consultant that can help me for registration? Electrical engineer?
Abo,
Parang general yung question.
Abo, so hindi lang electrical, no? Electrical, civil, mechanical, ECE, lahat po ng klase ng engineer, tutulungan po kayo ng SFEBC for free.
Yeah, add ko lang yan. Sir, kasi totoo yan. Kaya the reason bakit din tayo nag-webinar ngayon kasi yun nga, tinutulungan talaga ni Society of Filipino Engineers in BC yung mga engineer na mga student, mga OWP. So, yun.
Yeah. Pero siguro dahil, ewan ko siguro may mga, may mga nagpapabayad. Pero kasi minsan may nagtanong sa akin, Sir, magkano ba pagka in-assist mo ko? Sabi ko, wala sir, wala akong babayaran. Kailangan mo lang mag-member sa SFEBC para yung buong support ng group babigay namin, no? Kasi unfair naman dun sa iba na hindi nag-regular member ng SFEBC kung ibibigay na lang namin lahat ng resources. So, tsaka kailangan mag-survive din ng group, definitely. Yes, sir.
Next question. I have a Bachelor in Mechanical Engineering and MS in Energy Engineering degrees. So for PEng application, should I apply using my bachelor's or can I use my master's degree? Or it should be...
Yeah, use your bachelor's. You can use your master's, pero wala siyang effect. May mga ka-work din ako doon, no, sa KD Engineering na master's degree ng energy engineering, or minsan yung isa mayroon pang MEL, yung kung alam niyo sa UBC MEL, Masters of Engineering Leadership. Wala siyang effect. That's why sinasabi ko, wala pa akong nakita na nakatulong yung master's degree nila para dun sa application nila. Yung CBA nyo pa rin at saka yung bachelor's degree nyo yung magdidikta ko nung maging nangyayari sa application nyo.
Pero
But,
pwede naman din nila i-declare yan. Yung
yeah. Tama si Pres Alvin, no? Pwede nyo i-declare. Ang sa akin lang, ang personal opinion ko, no, dadami lang yung documents na isasubmit nyo. Kasi kailangan nyo rin mag-submit ng transcript. For example, kung yung master's nyo sa Pilipinas, so dalawang university yung magsesend ng transcript kay EGBC. Pag yung isang university, for example, yung bachelor's degree nyo nandun na, dineclare nyo yung master's degree nyo, hindi pa nakakapag-submit ng transcript, hindi tatakbo yung application nyo hanggat hindi kompleto yun. So, yun.
Pero ano din, naisip ko lang kasi kung i-declare mo siya, kung hanggang bachelor lang yung i-declare niya, so doon sa CBE niya, kailangan niya mag-fill up ng, kunwari 2 years yung masteral niya. So lalagyan niya na nag-aral siya ng masteral. So in parallel, so kailangan din niya i-upload yung kanyang masteral na
Yeah,
education.
tama naman. Especially pala kung hindi ka nag-work during that time, no? Pwede mong ilagay talaga pala. Pero, ayun, kung nag-work, anyway, discretion na nung applicant yun. May Philippine ME license has already expired. Yeah, as I've said, expired na rin license. walang effect yung yung PRC natin, no. Gusto ko sagutin
May isa pa dito, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sabi niya, I had an EIT designation in Association of Science and Engineering Technology, Professionals of Alberta. May I know, can I transfer it in BC instead of renewing it since I'm currently staying here in Victoria?
Hindi po ako familiar kung dun sa asset. Kasi ang alam ko, ang Victoria is Apega. Ang Victoria, ang, ang Alberta is Apega. So, I don't know if itong asset ba to is for technologies or for, kasi as far as I know, Apega yung
Yeah, yung itong asset na to ay ASTTBC dito sa BC. So I think,
okay.
yeah, pwede nyo lang i-contact yung regulatory nun. So baka naman pwedeng i-transfer yan. Baka meron din silang
Yeah,
reciprocity. Yeah.
siguro. Pero if you are asking about engineering training sa BC or professional engineering sa BC, hindi siya parehas. Pero kung engineering training ka ng APEGA or ng professionals engineers in Ontario or APEGS, definitely pwede mong na-transfer yon. So, pag naging PNG ka or EIT ka sa isang province, like for example sa BC, you want to move in Alberta or any provinces, magbabayad lang kayo ng fee and then pwede na kayo mag-practice doon as an engineer.
I had an EIT designation in Association of Science and Engineering Technology Professionals of Alberta. I think same question. I
Yeah.
would like to know how being an APEG, AEIT, and PENG helped me land my profession here.
Oh, it will help you a lot. Yeah, so kung EIT ka ng APEGA, no, or PNG ka ng APEGA, mag-register ka kay AGBC. Actually, kahit hindi ka mag-register kay AGBC, yun na yung ticket mo, no, to land the profession ng engineering profession dito sa BC kasi may license ka na. Pero yun, as I've said, job market, madaming nag-a-apply, madaming applicants. That's why if you can add credentials sa'yo, sa pangalan mo or sa ikaw as a person, mas makakakuha ka ng mas magandang definitely yung experience, yun talaga yung pinakamalaking factor.
Sir, balikan lang natin ulit yung kanina yung question sa Alberta. You mean po, kasi hindi natin alam sir if matransfer ba yung accreditation niya. So if hindi matransfer, should him or her contact na lang sa APEGA para
Ano sir
mag-apply?
ang sinasabi po namin, hindi namin transfer dun sa ASCTBC.
Oh, yeah.
Yung technologist po, no, yung technologist na counterpart dito sa BC. Pero kung APEGA siya, kasi yun yung regulating body ng engineers sa Alberta. 100% sir, matra-transfer yun. Pero if ang license mo sa ibang provinces technologist, hindi mo siya pwedeng dalhin kay EGBC. Definitely.
Ayun, yun. Okay. Okay po. Next question po, is there a straight pathway of processing EIT after finishing a diploma in civil engineering technology in Canada? I have my bachelor's degree in civil engineering in the Philippines. And also, is there any career opportunity for property management? So, yeah,
A
dalawang
lot. Yeah, my previous experience, no, for the last 8 years is property management. I really thought na imposibleng maging professional engineer kapag ganun yung experience. Pero yeah, it's how you sell yourself. It's how you write your CBA. And straight pathway ng... So I think magkaibang tao to. Itong dalawang question to I think. So doon muna tayo sa taas, no? I have my bachelor's degree in civil engineering. Yes, pwede po kayo mag-apply ng EIT kung wala kayong experience. Kung may experience kayo na more than 5 years engineering experience, then you can apply PH directly. Tapos itong isa, parang tatlong tanong to eh. Straight pathway ng EIT after finishing diploma in civil engineering technology in Canada. Hindi ko alam kung nag-take ba siya ng engineering technology dito, tapos may bachelor's degree siya ng civil engineering sa Pilipinas. Ganun ba yung yung situation ni sir or ma'am? Pero ayun, dahil may bachelor's degree ka ng engineering sa Pilipinas, yes, pwede ka mag-apply ng PH. Sorry, sir, pabalik nga nung isa nung question ulit.
yung pangalawa. Is there any career
Ayun,
opportunity for property management?
Yes po, meron. Opo. Property management, kung naghahanap po kayo ng job posting, tapos property management yung experience nyo. So kung nag-work kayo sa JLL, Megworld, or kung saan man, hello, or Ayala, wag po kayo magta-type ng property manager. Tip lang. Ang hanapin nyo is building operator or building operations manager or building operator or facilities management. So, ayun. Mag-property management po, leasing yung papatakan nyo. Hindi talaga kayo ma-hire.
Okay, next question is, my husband is on open work permit. He is a geodetic engineer in the Philippines. Can he become one in Canada, and how?
Siguro yung how nasagot ko na, no? Dun sa seminar.
Yeah.
Yes po, kahit po nasa Pilipinas kayo, nasa Pilipinas pa lang kayo, pwede na kayo mag-apply ng PH eh. Wala pong pipigil sa inyo doon. Kahit open work permit kayo, or yun nga, kahit nasa Pilipinas kayo, nasa Dubai kayo, nasa Saudi, Singapore, tapos plano nyo pumunta ng Canada, yes, pwede nyo nang simulan yung pag-apply ng PH.
Yung isa naman, sir, is which sectors or companies in Canada actively hire civil engineers with a P engineer in designation, and what skills or experiences are most in demand?
Parang pang-recruiter na yung pero I think sina Hall Group of Companies, yan, sila yung mga civil eh. Specific skill or experience depende po dun sa area of practice na gagawin nyo. That's why dito sa sa Canada, for example po ako mechanical, after ko maging PNG, i-declare ko yung areas of practice ko, yung industry na practice ko. Hindi kasi being a professional engineer, dapat alam nyo po yung limitations nyo. So, kung ano po yung skill and experience na kailangan nyo dun sa gusto nyong area or industry, yun po yung kailangan nyong ma-acquire or dapat kung ano yung existing skill or experience nyo, dun po kayo magfo-focus. Ano po yung most in demand? Actually, hindi ko ito masasagot. Wala akong data ng ng mga job listing. So, ayun. Pero dun sa skills and experience, I think yun nasagot ko naman siya.
Yeah, I think sa civil, marami sa civil, marami din na DDA sa civil kasi ayun nga talagang medyo critical yung sa mga civil leaders dito. Pero doon sa group natin, I think marami na rin naman, may mga PMs na rin naman tayo sa group na civil.
Yes. Oh, yeah, tama ka, Pres, no? Sa SFEBC po, may mga civil engineer na PNG. Tama ba? Meron na ba? Okay. And pinakamadami yung civil engineer sa SFEBC. Nagulat nga ako dun sa tally namin eh. Kasi akala namin mechanical yung pinakamadami. Pero just like college, no, or university, maingay lang talaga yung mga mechanical kaya mukha silang madami. Pero hindi pala kami yung pinakamadami, patatlo lang kami. Pinakamadami yung civil, then electrical, tapos saka pa yung mechanical.
I think next question is, are there specific industry organizations, job boards, or networking events that can help civil engineers with PENG designation connect with potential employers? I think more of networking, I think this question is.
Just join SFEBC.
Yeah, I think dun sa tanong na yon, kung hahanap ka ng specific sa Filipino na community, so kami yon. So, I think SFBC lang yung isang community ng Filipino engineers dito sa BC. So, yeah.
Yeah. Mamaya magpe-present ako nung how to join us or join
Mhm.
us SFEBC. May presentation din ako doon para dun sa mga viewers pa to.
Opo, helpful po yan, sir. And may isa pa, can we apply for PENG directly and not need to go for EIT application?
Absolutely po. Pwede po. Ay, wait lang. Sorry. Clarify ko lang yun. As long as you have 5 years of engineering experience.
Experience, okay. Hindi na
Baka
po ba
mamaya 3
mag-matter
years.
kung saan
4 years,
po?
pwede na naman, di ba?
Ano, sir?
4 years, pwede na naman, di ba? 4 years plus.
4 plus years. So, kasi kung
4 plus
ongoing
years.
yung experience mo
Mm.
habang nagpa-process ka. Yeah, pwede naman. Pero, ayun nga. Ang nire-require ng EGBC kapag ka hindi, yung nakasulat sa website nila is 5 years kapag ka outside Canada. Pero pwede ka nang mag-apply ng halimbawa 4 years experience. Kasi may processing time pa eh. Baka bago matapos yung process mo, baka 5 years ka na. So, okay na. Yun yung maling ginawa ko actually. Naghintay ako, kasi dati may 1 year Canadian experience pang requirement. Ngayon wala na eh. So, inintay kong maka 1 year Canadian experience ako bago ako nag-submit ng CBA. Which is, hindi naman pala, pwede palang ongoing yun. Wow, daming experience nito.
Okay. My husband is also a geodetic engineer in the Philippines. Experience po sa Pilipinas is 8 years in private land surveying and 10 years in construction surveying. Sa ang engineering field po kaya siya magfo-fall dito sa Canada? And kung pwede po mag-apply sa EGBC, apply po ba agad ng professional or dadaan pa po sa EIT?
Okay, haba ng experience nito ni sir. Definitely PN siya applicant to. And civil engineering siya magfo-fall. I think. Pero kung may clarification, hindi ko alam kung yun, tama, may construction din siya eh. Yeah. Civil and diretso PN. Okay to.
Okay.
Technologist ka. Sorry sir, sinagot ko na.
Again, ano po, I'm an engineering technologist right now in BC. My boss is Pieng. What should be my first step for Pieng? Parang,
Okay
ayan,
po.
sinagot,
So,
oo.
first, i-assume ko na bachelor's degree siya ng engineering sa Pilipinas. Yun yung una kong assumption, no? Uh, so, yes, pwede kang mag-apply and napakaswerte mo kasi may PNG kang validator. Yung step nung pag-apply, I think na-discuss ko na naman kanina. Pero if ever na wala kang bachelor's degree ng engineering sa BC, sa Pilipinas, pwede kang mag-apply ng PLN tapos validator mo pa rin yung PNG mo.
I'm a mechanical engineer po. So, the question is yung 4 or 5 years work experience needed po ba ay highly technical? Or may experience po kasi ako as business development for solar rooftop pero more on business or project development po.
Hindi naman po kailangan highly technical. So, siguro yun yung misconception, no? Being a professional engineer is not only based on your technical skill. Being a professional engineer has a lot of facet, no, ng being to become a professional. So that's why pag ginawa niyo na yung CBA niyo, meron po dong project management, communication, sustainability, how to work with others, etc. So definitely kailangan ng technical experience, pero hindi naman like dapat nasa consulting ka para lang kumbaga yung nasa consulting lang yung pwede maging PH, hindi po ganun. So, ayun, I think nasagot ko na yung question niya.
Ito po, parang sa lahat to, daming nagtatanong kanina pa. Does age matter po ba? Yun.
Hindi po, hindi po nagmamatter yung
Parang
age.
pag-ibig lang yan, ha?
Kasi po, some of the experiences po sa iba, 'di ba, pag pupunta ng ibang bansa or even sa Pilipinas, parang may age discrimination. I don't know if this one is like belong to this issue, but tinanong lang ng viewer or ng audience na does age matter po ba?
Hindi po. Doesn't matter.
How high is the probability that the FE could be waived if you graduated from an accredited institution like Mapua? So he graduated probably Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering 2004 graduate.
So, clarify ko lang po yung pagiging accredited, no? I think nag-grant lang yon nung 2023. That's why sa seminar ko, sinasabi ko, kung meron pong 2023 graduate, apply kayo ng EIT, baka based on my understanding, mawe-waive na yung FE. Now, and Mapua lang yung huling nung nag-check ako. Pero, so, basically, 2022 pababa. Kahit UP, Batsu, Mapua, kahit anong school, mag-AFE ka talaga if wala kang experience. No? Or, pwede po siyang ma-waive. Ano yung probability? Mahirap pong sabihin yung probability kasi nakadepende po yun sa pagsusulat nyo ng CBA. If nasulat nyo po ng maayos yung CBA nyo, 100% probability po yun. Pero basta nyo lang po nasulat yung CBA nyo, no? Hindi nyo na pag-isipan or walang nag-guide sa inyo. Kasi may mga ganun po no? Hindi na-guide. Maganda yung experience, as in, technical talaga yung experience, pero walang nag-guide, pinag-FE. Meron naman, hindi naman ganun ka-technical yung experience, pero properly guided, wave yung FE. So, kailangan po ng proper guidance din. And kung magaling naman kayo magsulat na ng engineering report, then you can do it by your own. Again, paulit-ulit ko sinasabi, Si SFEBC po tumutulong po sa pagsulat. Not necessarily tumutulong sa pagsulat. Nire-review namin yung CBA. Mamaya i-discuss ko yung yung mga benefits kapag nag-join po kayo ng SFEBC. Okay.
Is there a sample CBA on our group?
Opo. I think lahat ng discipline master, no? Meron na tayo. Yeah, meron na lahat ng discipline. Kasi madami nang na-produce na PNG, CSFEBC. Now, ito po yung opinion ko dito sa sample report or sample CBA. Every time na nagseseminar ako, lagi ko pong sinasabi, please, wag niyong tingnan yung sample CBA before kayo magsulat. Tingnan niyo yung sample after nyong magsulat. Kasi, anong difference? Pag nagsulat po kayo ng CBA nyo, nag-refer kayo dun sa CBA ng iba, halimbawa ako, nag-refer ako sa CBA ni Juan de la Cruz. Ngayon, dahil somehow parang kinokopya ko na yung CBA niya, kung ano yung experience niya, parang yun na yung nasusulat ko. Wherein, mas kilala mo yung sarili mo eh. Baka may mas maganda kang experience or mas maganda kang scenario dun sa CBA item na yun. Pero dahil na-focus ka na sa pagtingin dun sa CBA na tapos na, dun na lang, parang, alam mo yung parang kabayo na may nakaganon na sa mata mo. So nakaganon ka na lang. That's why I don't recommend na mag-check ka ng CBA before ka I don't recommend na check ka muna ng CBA before ka magsulat. So magsulat ka muna bago ka mag-check ng CBA. Kasi ikaw mismo aalamin mo sa sarili mo sa buong 10 years of experience ko, ano yung pinakamagandang example ko dito. Sorry, 7 years na lang pala. Hindi ko yata nasabi sa seminar ko. So may bagong rule si EGBC, no? So yung 7 years experience mo na lang from ngayon going back to 7 years. Yun lang yung pwede mong isulat sa CBA.
Next question po. Ano pong transferable skills ng mechanical engineer dito sa Victoria? He has 17 years experience as automotive sa Pinas and Dubai.
I think millwright. Pero ano yun eh. Parang technologist siya papatak.
Meron naman mga automotive dito na Red Seal. Pero I think yung experience pa rin is under mechanical engineer kung mag-apply ka ng as PNG. So, doesn't matter kung, hindi pala, depende na pala dito, sa engineer na to kung gusto niya mag-apply ng PNG or more on millwright ba? Red Seal. Pero pwede siya mag-apply ng PNG kung ito yung experience niya. For sure, pwede naman.
Yon, I believe yun na yung last question natin for tonight. And to answer the question nung nasa chat na nag-aas ng example ng CBA, I think di-discuss ni Sir Mike, Engineer Mike tonight.
Yeah. Di-discuss tayo ng how to write yung CBA, no?
Yes po. You can start na sharing your screen.
Yung tanong ni Miss Richelle, no? Roadmap on how to become PNG. Hindi ko alam kung makaabot si ma'am dun sa simula nung Pero yun yung roadmap. So, siguro before ako mag-present sa CBA, mag-share lang ako ng roadmap ko na lang. Dumating ako dito, meron akong 8 years of experience. Hindi consulting, so my experience ko is property management for 8 years nung dumating ako dito. Tapos nakapag-work ako as building engineer yung tawag, pero parang building operator, technical lang. Hindi ko nakita yung same setup ng property management sa Pilipinas tsaka dito. That's why naghanap ako ng ibang opportunity. Tapos, bago ako dumating dito, wala akong idea. Si Press Alvin lang yung nag-reach out sa akin noon kasi same school kami, batch so kami parehas. Nung dumating ako dito, nakapag-order na ako ng West. Tapos, mag-a-apply na ako for EIT kasi ang akala ko, pag dumating ka dito, EIT lang talaga dapat yung applyan mo. So doon na nabuksan yung pwede pa lang PNG diretso. Tapos ang ginawa ko habang nag-apply ako ng PNG, nagte-take ako ng ibang certification kasi gusto ko ngang malipat sa engineering workforce. Kasi yung property management dito, hindi siya engineering workforce. Ngayon, nag-take ako ng lead, LEED, tapos nag-take ako ng CEM. So yun yung nag-open sa akin ng opportunity sa work ko ngayon, sa commissioning, sa mechanical commissioning. Tapos, sinulat ko yung CBA ko ng, ganyan sabi ko, nag-spend talaga ako ng time sa pagsulat ko ng CBA ko. Siguro roughly 6 months ko sinulat yung CBA ko. Tapos pinareview ko sa SFEBC. Tapos sinabit ko yung CBA, tapos take ako ng seminar, take ako ng NPPE. Tapos yung previous company ko, binabayaran niya lahat nung ginagastos ko eh. So binili ko yung 2 libro, binili ko lahat ng online exam, online materials for NPPE. Tapos meron ako nung sample practice exam sa SFEBC. So, doon ko na-conclude na hindi mo kailangang bilhin mga yon. Yung materials na meron sa SFEBC, kasi binasa ko yung libro cover to cover, 2 libro. Hindi mo kailangan yun gawin. Yung summary na 70 pages plus yung practice exam na nasa SFEBC is good enough para makapasa ka. Pero kung gusto mong mag-take ng practice exam para interactive na online, pwede ka din mag-take nun. Tapos, yun, na-assign ako ng in-interview ako. Kaya natin nalaman na ito yung mga options na pwede mangyari kapag ka-inassess yung CBA mo at academic mo. So, inabot ako ng almost 2 years dun sa buong process ko. Pero, dahil na-streamline na natin yung process, yung mga applicant ngayon, mga 1 year na lang 1 year, less than 1 year. May less than 1 year. May more than 1 year ng konti. Pero parang wala nang umaabot ata ng 2 years ngayon. Presalvin, no? Parang mabibilis na ngayon kasi alam na natin kung ano yung gagawin eh.
Yeah, yung pinakamabilis natin is 5 months. Nakuha na yung PM.
There you go. 5 months, pinakamabilis. Pero, yun, kailangan lang yung mentality natin na hindi porket naka 2 years ako, kailangan 3 years yung kapwa Pilipino ko. Dapat hindi ganun eh. So sa SFEBC po, hindi tayo ganun. Kung ako sabi ko nga, 2 years. Si Presalvin, 2 years din. Kung matapos nyo ng 1 year or less or 5 months din, sobrang masaya kami para sa inyo. Kasi yung win nyo is win ng buong SFEBC. Ayun. Sir, okay lang yung recording pa. Siguro i-present ko muna yung how to join SFEBC before ako mag-move dun sa...
Sige, sir. Sige, sir.
Wait lang, sir. Saan na yun? Share. Okay na, sir? Kita niyo na?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Ayun, so about SFEBC, Society of Filipino Engineers in BC, or SFEBC, is a non-profit organization located in BC. So the group was founded to support Filipino engineers in pursuing their engineering careers within the province. Actually, not only within the province kasi may mga Filipino engineers din sa ibang province na nag-guide natin, no? Kasi I don't know if wala ba sa kanila or kulang yung support. Empower members to realize their Canadian dreams. So, ang mission ni SFE-BC, to serve as the source of information to assist Society of Philippine Engineers in BC, members in their pursuit to practice engineering in BC. Ayun, to serve source of information. So, hindi po siya consulting na magbabayad kayo ng professional fee. So ang vision po namin is to see SFE-BC members progress in their engineering profession and be recognized as a vital contributor to the society. Ano ba yung benefits of becoming a member ng SFE-BC? So, ayun. Yung pong sa ID, yung sinabi ko kanina dun sa process ng EIT or PNG na kailangan kailangan ng ma-certified yung ID mo. Pwede po kayo magpa-certify sa law firm, which is, I don't know, iba-iba yung price. Pero nung time ko nung wala pang SFE-BC, wala pa nag-i-stamp, $100 per ID yun. So dalawang ID, that's $200. Pero free service po siyang ginagawa sa SFE-BC. Access dun sa mga CBA report template from previous applicant, so gathered by SFE-BC from proven accepted applicants na mga to. And then pero ulitin ko lang, wag niyong kopyahin, no, kasi baka may mas maganda pa kayong experience. CBA report review session, ayun, yung mga members yung mga PNs natin sa SFE-BC, nagre-review tayo ng CBA. Medyo may pila lang, pero at least may fresh sets of eyes para mag-review ng CBA nyo. Tapos kung bago ka dito, minsan may struggle ka dun sa resume mo, cover letter. Ayun, may mga nagre-review din, especially kung yung industry mo na papasukan is may expertise yung isang member natin. So nagma-mock-up interview din tayo for our members para sa job interview o kaya sa PNG interview. May magkakaroon rin kayo ng access dun sa mga review materials or study materials for NPPE or FE exam. Meron po tayo dun. And walang group study session ngayon pero before may group study session ng mga magte-take ng FE. So para may online meeting sila na kanila para mag-discuss kung ano yung parang motivated ka din dun sa pagre-review mo sa FE. Ayun, kung may mga ibang certifications like PMP, LEED, CEM, ayun, magkakaroon din kayo ng access dun sa or tips kung kailangan yung mga tips. Tapos kung may mga referral job openings, may referral din na pinopost dun sa may mga job opportunity na sinasend dun sa group. Tapos kung kilala yung hiring manager, di ba? May referral. Tapos networking opportunities. Yun, so sorry. May annual fee dun sa membership. If associate kayo, meaning ongoing yung application nyo ng EIT or PNG, $10 Canadian for whole year na yon. But I'm 100% sure yung makukuha yung in return dun sa $10 nyo is more than $10 for sure. $15 kapag ka EIT kayo and $20 for PNG. So, ayun. Social media and website. So, sa LinkedIn, hanapin niyo po yung Society of Philippine Engineers in BC. Parenthesis, SFE-BC. So, yun po yung official LinkedIn. And then yung Facebook po is Society of Philippine Engineers in British Columbia. And then yung website is sfbc.ca. Ayun. Wait lang.
Siguro ano, send ko yung link ng registration sa chat.
Sige, sir. Sir Arvin, pwede bang mag, 2 minutes break lang? Mag-washroom lang ako saglit.
Sige, sir. Sige, sir.
Sige, sir. Tapos, yung next item kasi meron
Mhm.
tayo mga confidential information doon. So,
Yeah,
baka pwede
i-disclaimer na lang natin. So, yung next nating presentation ni Sir Michael, it will be confidential. So, wag i-stop po natin recording on that part. And maybe Sir Alvin, Engineer Alvin.
Yeah, I think kung may question pa kayo, pwede kayong mag-raise ng hand. Try kong sagutin kung meron pa rin.
Nakapag na tayo, no? Nakapag-promote na tayo ng registration sa SFEBC.
Ito yun, teka lang. Sinend ko na yung link sa group chat kung sino gusto mag-register.
Yes. Tingnan mo. So, mag-promote na muna ako, sir, ng next
Yeah,
event ng UPC.
sure.
So, what's next on UPC? Would like to invite everyone on our next event, a post-Valentine event open to everyone on the 21st at Vertigo. The sub or the Student Union building at University of Victoria. We will be playing a Filipino version of Squid Game, so we hope to see you all there. And also, additionally, we will be launching our new program, Lunch and Learn, focusing on financial literacy and express entry as the pilot episode. For those who need to know how to file for permanent residency, this is free for event with lunch. So, and the speaker will be an immigration lawyer. So this is a great opportunity for those who are seeking for pathways on permanent residence. And the much awaited comeback of UPC Sports Fest will be on April 12 and 13. We added badminton and alongside with basketball and volleyball and many more. So I think that's it for us. And while waiting for Engineer Michael, maybe you can plug something, Sir Engineer Alvin.
Wala naman ako may pa-plug kasi um, wala pa kaming next event sa SFEBC. Pero yeah,
Mhm.
if you join the group, yeah, malalaman, lagi naman ina-update mga members namin kung ano yung mga next activity.
Sir,
Ganda.
pwede na.
Yes,
Sorry.
sir.
Sige, tara.
Sige,
Mag-share
sir,
lang
okay
sana
na.
ako ng screen.
Pwede na. Mag-share ka na, sir. I-stop ka na yun, ako.
Okay, nakikita nyo na? Sir, nakikita nyo na yung screen ko? Okay na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ayun. So before ako mag-diretso ng discussion, no? So pag naging member kayo ng SFEBC,
All clear. Thank you po.
tapos yun, join ka ng SFEBC engineer. Mag-guide ka doon.
Sige po.
Hanapin nyo lang si President Alvin.
Yeah, andyan din si VP natin si Mel. Yeah, thanks for
Ayan,
the
si Engineer,
Sister Rob.
si Engineer
Yeah.
Arvin din. Si Mel.
Yan si Arvin, part na rin naman siya, member na rin naman siya ng SFEBC matagal na. So, goods.
Essential engineers nasa kotse.
Ayan pala si Sir. Ayan, si Sir Mel. Sila yung mga nagsimula ng SFEBC, no? Tapos hinigit lang din nila ako. Ayun. Nung una, kwento-kwentuhan lang. Food court lang kami nung una eh. Tapos lumaki na. Kasi yung vision nga, no? Yung vision tsaka yung mission ng group. Ayun. May question pa kayo?
Sir, ask ko lang po, madali po ba or mahirap kumuha ng CPD units dito sa Canada for Peng po?
You mean continuing education units?
Yes po.
Actually, may
Mga requirements, I think requirements po siya once na Peng ka na.
Yes, pag PH ka na, kailangan mo nun. Pero may continuing education plan, no? Hindi pwedeng kuha ka lang, training ka lang ng training. Kumbaga, kailangan align siya sa industry practice mo. May mga free ano naman, may mga free training naman. For sure kung member ka ng mga like ASHRAE ganun. For sure may mga free training 'yun. Tsaka Sir Mel, mas kabisado mo.
Pwede siya, may mga free webinar naman sa site ng EGBC. So pwede ka makakuha doon, regulatory, technical,
Yeah.
ganyan, ethics. Tapos sa mga company naman, company training, pwede rin naman yon. Tapos kung pwede ka rin kumuha ng mga short courses, pwede mo rin siya i-declare. So
Yeah.
marami tayong mapagkukuhanan ng continuing education. Saka yung
Even
kasi,
i-
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
even yung mga meetings, no, tsaka yung pagbasa ng mga books na self-study ganun. Pwede mo siyang ilagay eh. I think si Sir Mel mas makakapagbigay ng comment doon.
Totoo yun, hindi totoo yun. Wala pa akong ginastos kahit na singkong duling, no? Yung mga meetings, mga training na pinoprovide ng organizations, tapos minsan may kulang, hahanapin ko sa EGBC, mapupunuan naman eh. Halimbawa, naghahanap sila ng tungkol sa, I don't know, sa may kinalaman sa regulatory bodies, bawa environmental or etc.
Ethics.
etc. Yeah, ganyan. Very very unlikely na kailangan pa nating mag-enroll. Although kung sasagutin ng company, why not, right? Pero yeah, yung mga CPD na yan usually free. At recently lang naman yung inintroduce ng EGBC. Siguro mga 4 years ago, 4 years ago. Wala pa naman akong kilala na ano ba, nasita sa sinabit nila. Yeah. Yeah, worry about that later. Pag PN tayo, pag-usapan natin 'yun. Minsan kahit kami, nakumpleto niyo na ba yung CPD? Tapos may mga magsasuggest ganito, kahit YouTube lang, blah blah blah. It works.
Thank you po.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And may questions pa po? So, siguro, naintindihan niyo yung mga diniscuss namin dito. Kaya wala na kayong questions, which is good.
Napakagaling nito ni BODMJ eh. Sana valuable itong kanyang ano ba session. Tapos if may mga mahihain or may mga na-miss na itanong, feel free to reach out sa SFEBC engineers.
Yeah, that's right. Yan si Sir Mel, no, si Presalvin and yung ibang members, pag nag-reach out kayo sa kanila, sumasagot naman talaga kami. Well, hindi lang agad-agad pero minsan nadadelay ng konti pero sumasagot kami. Kasi we are willing to help yung Filipino community, Filipino engineers para maging professional engineer sila dito sa Canada. Kung nahihiya kayo magtanong, pwede kayo mag-reach out after this session.
I think in the last, I would say, 3 years, parang sobrang daming mga Filipino graduates na nag-apply at nakakuha na ng PNG at EITs. I think sa buong history ng APEC BC pa noon, ang ngayon EGPC na. It's a good thing kasi unti-unti nare-recognize yung mga universities natin sa Pinas, pati yung mga graduates din sa Pinas na hindi man plug and play, pero nako-convert na natin yung education natin without going back to school, right? So hopefully later on magkaroon na rin ng ano ba? Magkaroon na rin ng daan na pag-graduate sa Pinas. I think siguro part ng slides mo yung Mapua graduates ng 2024,
2023. Yeah.
2023, right? So sana across the board ganun na. Um, but yeah, the bottom line is di na natin kailangan bumalik ng school, right? Graduate ng Pinas, we are holding a Philippine bachelor's degree in engineering. We can obtain PNG without going back to school. Medyo um ano ba, konting hard work lang sa CBA. That's when si SFEBC comes into play uh, para mag-provide ng guidance, 'di ba? Mhm.
All right. Engineer Arvin, I think wala nang wala nang questions.
Yes, sir. Magpa-photo op na tayo
Yeah, thank you.
bago tayo mag-end. Open na po tayo ng camera. Yun. Makikita na natin yung mga itsura.
Member ba sila ng lahat ng UB community?
Yes, sir. Majority. Actually,
Yan.
mga nag-request ng recording eh. Mga nasa trabaho.
Madami pala, no? Madami pala kayo dyan.
So far, nasa 800 plus tayo, sir.
Ang dami na.
Mm.
Wow. Galing.
Okay. Screenshot po.
Arvin, you have to stop sharing.
Oh, sorry. Okay na. Smile. Next page. Smile.
Galing.
Okay. On
Mukhang
behalf
madaming
of
page
UPC. Yes, sir. Okay na. On behalf of UPC family, we would like to thank Engineer Michael De Guzman, Engineer Alvin, Engineer Sir Mel, and the whole board of directors of SFEBC for taking the time to share their expertise on this topic. Isang ask ko lang po sa kanila, yun, nag-yes agad sila. UPC and SFEBC shared the same vision to help Filipinos here in Canada. The reason bakit natin pinush po yung session na to dahil ang daming students, OWP, na mga engineers and yung mga current work nila is medyo malayo na sa field natin. And yun, again, on behalf of UPC family, thank you everyone. And I think mag-gugutate na tayo. See you next event. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Arvin. Thanks, Press, Alvin. Have a good night, engineers.
Thank you po. Thank you. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Sir Arvin. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Arvin, thank you.